Hello everyone, we're going to receive more news about the Packers, but before that, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Top 3 in free agency. Packers at the top of list for standalone free agent, report. If Green Bay Packers fans thought this offseason would be relaxing and uneventful, they were wrong. There have already been numerous coaching changes, and player changes are almost guaranteed. Wide receiver has become a glaring need for this team. Jaire Alexander's future is uncertain, and Green Bay has numerous free agent decisions to make. With the departure of Tom Clements and the hiring of Packers coaches by other teams, the coaching staff has already undergone changes, but that won't be the only changes happening. I know. Adebo has been pretty good for the Saints. However, an October significant injury, broken femur, could lower his demand in free agency. Adebo is someone that the Packers could target for many reasons. He is a top-notch corner who meets the standards that the Packers have for their corners. Adebo is 6'1" and 192 pounds. His RAS was a 9.74 coming out for the draft. He is a Packers kinda guy through and through, and I wouldn't be surprised if Goody spends a little on a player of his caliber. Now that his rookie contract has ended, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN believes Adebo may be one of the best available to work on a long-term full-size contract. Multiple teams consider Adebo a top 3 corner in the free agency class based on ability and upside. Adebo had no complications from his surgery, which included a rod being placed in the broken bone, where there was a clean fracture, to stabilize it. 2025 Senior Bowl offers options for Packers. TCU wide receiver Jack Beck catches the game-winning touchdown in Saturday's 2025 Senior Bowl. Beck was Senior Bowl offensive MVP and an intriguing wide receiver prospect for the Packers. This past week Green Bay general manager Brian Gutekunst was in Mobile, Alabama for the Senior Bowl, which has been a regular source of draft prospects for the Packers. Many of the current players on the rosters were players who played in the Senior Bowl. Last year, 8 of the Packers' draft picks were Senior Bowl attendees: Josh Morgan, Javon Bullard, Marshawn Lloyd, Evan Williams, Kitten Oladapo, Travis Glover, Michael Pratt and Kalen King. Tyron Hopper was invited to last year's Senior Bowl but was unable to attend because of injury. A hot-button position since the end of the season for many has been wide receiver. The Packers have had tremendous success in the draft with wide receivers, specifically in rounds 2 through 4. Since 2006, the Packers have drafted the following players in those middle rounds: Greg Jennings, James Jones, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Devontae Adams, Ty Montgomery, Christian Watson, Romeo Dew and Jaden Reed. The Packers met with 3 wide receivers this week: Jaden Higgins, 6'3", 210, and Jalen Noel of Iowa State, 5'10", 200, and Jalen Royals, 6'0", 210, Utah State. Both Higgins and Noel were very productive in 2024 for the Cyclones. Higgins 87 catches, 1,183 yards and 9 touchdowns. Noel 80 catches, 1,194 yards and 8 touchdowns. Meanwhile, Royals' season totals were 55 catches, 834 yards and 6 touchdowns. He was much more productive in 2023, finishing the season with 71 catches, 1,080 yards and 15 touchdowns. Royals plays like a bigger version of Jaden Reed, but the question would be, could he play as both an outside and inside wide receiver? There is also the obvious Utah State connection to quarterback Jordan Love. Another wide receiver who stood out this week in Mobile who has Packers wide receiver written all over him is TCU's Jack Beck, 6'2", 215. He was named Senior Bowl offensive MVP and finished the game with a walk-off touchdown catch. Beck did not meet with the Packers, but a likely day 2 pick. Beck is another big-body wide receiver who could play in a role like former Packer Allen Lazard. In 2024, Beck finished with 62 catches, 1,034 yards and 9 touchdowns. The Packers will likely be addressing their two big defensive needs, defensive line and cornerback, in both free agency and early in the draft. Since becoming general manager 2018, Gutekunst has used valuable picks on both spots often: first round, 2018 Jair Alexander, 2019 Rashawn Gary, 2021 Eric Stokes, 2022 Devontae Wyatt, 2023 Lucas Van Ness, second round, 2018 Josh Jackson, 2024 Javon Bullard, slot corner/safety. A few players from Senior Bowl week who could spark interest were defensive lineman Texas A&M Shamar Stewart, Marshall Mike Green of Marshall, Boston College Donovan Ezeruaku, Toledo Darius Alexander, Ole Miss Walter Nolan of Ole Miss, and cornerbacks Trey Amos of Ole Miss and Azariah Thomas of Florida State. Breaking: Packers' 2025 opponent on the brink of losing star quarterback. The Green Bay Packers are trying to show the league that they actually did move on to a third straight franchise quarterback. Green Bay has made the playoffs in each of Jordan Love's first 2 seasons starting, not something every franchise can say when they just traded away a 4-time MVP quarterback. However, one of their opponents next season may be on the brink of losing a key piece to their offense. If a team in the NFL is planning to pursue pending unrestricted free agent quarterback Sam Darnold to solve their quarterback issue, which there will be, it will likely cost them a lot of money. If a team in the NFL is planning to pursue pending unrestricted free agent quarterback Sam Darnold to solve their quarterback issue, which there will be, it will likely cost them a lot of money. As far as quarterbacks are concerned, Sam Darnold is the best option available this free agency. The 35 touchdowns he threw in 2024 were tied for the second most in Vikings history and the fifth most in the league this past season. In 2025, he'll have a strong market and start somewhere in terms of free agency negotiations. The Minnesota Vikings retain the advantage until March 10, but Darnold will know his market well before then. If Darnold hadn't tanked the final 2 games of the campaign, predictions of that market would have been significantly higher. Regardless, there are growing concerns that Minnesota won't re-up with Darnold. And are you a fan? What do you think of the Sam Darnold situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.